Welcome back to the Mid-Year YouTube channel. Today's episode, we're back on the 67 Roadster, fixing the birdcage, getting everything jigged up, final welded, and getting it painted. So be sure to stick around. Also, if you're new to the YouTube channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel. So I have all the major pieces for the 67 convertible birdcage laid out here. I have the cowl section, the brand new rocker channels, and the rear B-pillars that I removed from the fiberglass. So now it's time to start building. So the first step is to put the rockers on our little jig here, get those bolted down, and then bolt on the door bars that go across the sides, mount up the cowl, and mount up the B-pillar. And we can start to get everything laid out. I can work on setting the windshield frame on for placement, and I can get everything clamped up then. And eventually we can put hinges on it and hang doors to make sure we're happy with the locations, and then weld her up. So I have all the 67 parts mocked up in my jig here, and everything's looking pretty good. Can't get too excited now because this is just the first mock-up, but it actually looks really promising. Everything's lining up very well, including the windshield, which I just sat on here. Like I said, these pillars were kind of crunched together before, so I had to spread them out a little bit to get the windshield to fit in. But you can see the windshield fits pretty good. It's lining up pretty much where the old one used to, and the lower and upper parts of the windshield are from two different cars, so you can see there's a little bit of a gap right there, and the other side's a little long. So I have to figure out how much to trim over here, which I already made some notes before I made the jig. So I have to cut a sliver off of there, and if I'm lucky, I might just be able to flip it upside down and put it on that side. I have both doors mocked up on the 67. This is the first trial fit of the doors. Everything seems to fit up pretty good. Both doors are a little tight. That one I could probably live with, but I'm gonna push the cowl forward 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna push the cowl forward probably about 1/4 inch on this side because the striker is actually touching. It's actually touching the fiberglass here. So it needs a little bit more clearance here, but if I can get this closed again, I also still need to fix this. It still closes, but it's a little tight. You can see this gap is looking pretty good. The vent window is not tight or anything, but it's looking promising. So I think I can rack that out a little bit, and the windshield probably needs to go in that way just a little bit. So now I'm gonna take the doors off, put the door bars back in, check to see where we're at, make our adjustments. Then I'm gonna start cleaning up all the metal and putting my weld through primer on it, weld it up. Both the driver and passenger hinge pillar are welded to the rocker. They're nice and solid. So now I'm going to work on the windshield. Need to work on getting this fit up really nice between this gap, getting this to line up nice over here, and the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to take this off, clean everything up, and I'll do what I did on the split window cage. So I'll take some of this 3/4 inch tubing, cut about a 6-inch section, I guess 2 of them, and I will graft them inside of here, drill some holes, do the same thing for this little filler piece, get this to fit real nice, and then it'll be strong because it's all, you know, fully seam welded on the outside, ground down, but then it'll also be plug welded on the inside with that piece of tubing, and I'll weld it on this surface and that surface. So it should be really strong, won't have to worry about any flex or anything. So I have the windshield frame welded up here, grafted these 2 pieces together. It turned out really nice. And in the last video I made on that Birdcage, I was welding the windshield together. Someone asked if I'd test fit a windshield in that one. I did not test a windshield in that one, but I had the jig made from another windshield frame, and I test fit a windshield in that, so I knew that was pretty good. But I can set it in that one. But I laid this windshield in there just to show you what it looks like. And since it's laying on its back, you can just suspend the windshield in here. So you can see there's a nice even gap the whole way around the windshield. And this one also is cracked, so a little bit of deviation in the shape. But you want a bit of a gap the whole way around the windshield because of the way the rubber sits in here, the way it just kind of floats in the middle there. So I'm really happy with that. So I started straightening out the B-pillars here so that way I can go and grind, remove all the rust off. They're good enough to get everything clamped, and as I start welding them I can hammer them to get them flat, but at least they're not all crazy wavy. But I was working on this back panel here, like the luggage stop, so there should be a little seam the whole way across here, which just adds a lot of strength to it, because if not, this thing will just flop around, and this also adds a little bit of strength. And it was dented, and this seam was pretty much gone. So whenever I was working across here, hammer and dollying, putting that seam back in, and a lot of these waves were coming out of it, just because, you know, that was forcing it to go flat again. So that actually added a lot of strength back to this area. So I got the windshield frame welded on, things nice and solid, so now I'm gonna take the cage off of the jig, so that way I can get access to welding the inside of the B-pillars. And then I still have some more welding to do to get these hinge pillars mounted solids, that way it takes out any remaining flex. And then it's just time to grind welds and patch just a little bit of rust right here, and then this thing's done. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. The 67 Roadster took shape pretty quick, and it's gonna keep going at a fast pace. So the plan is now is just to get this car skinned into a firewall back, and then this thing, as well as its split window buddy, are gonna be going back home to their owners where they'll be finished up. I got a lot of work to do, so I'll catch you guys later.